Hello and welcome to the Find Your Peak Fitness podcast, where fitness meets real life. My name is Megan Morensky and today I'm going to cover all things supplements. That is, who should take them, why we should take them, the costs and benefits of all, and what to avoid. Before we dive in, I want to mention a few points and debunk some myths around supplements. Firstly, supplements are exactly what they are titled. They are supplemental. That means they are supplemental to a diet, so what you're eating on a day-to-day basis. You should strive to cover all nutritional bases from your nutrition. When that does become a struggle, then you can absolutely lean on supplements to fill in the gaps. It is not the other way around. If you need more protein in your diet, aim to get that from your food first. Then you can purchase protein supplements if you need help reaching your protein goals. The big reason for this is that there are micronutrients, such as vitamins and minerals, in the food we eat, alongside the actual macro makeup of that food. So for example, if we take a chicken breast, not only does that contain protein, but it also contains selenium, phosphorus, vitamin B6 and niacin. It also metabolizes in the body a lot differently than a protein shake. I've not dived too much into this, but I will in future episodes, but there is something called the thermic effect of food. And that means when we actually consume food, so take a chicken breast for example, we actually use calories for that digestion, and protein has the highest thermic effect of food, which means we actually burn the most amount of calories as we digest protein. So, like I said, the chicken breast, for example, we digest that chicken breast using more calories than we would a protein shake. And that the biggest reason being is that protein shake is processed and it is in liquid form, so it takes less energy to break down. This also explains why we feel fuller for longer after consuming protein. And it is an amazing tool for fat loss. Another myth is that supplements need to be taken by those who work out. So yes, there are supplements out there specifically for athletes, which we'll cover, but there is absolutely a place for supplements, such as protein powders, for those who don't train. The last myth is for athletes, and that is you do need to take supplements to see results. This is a very common misconception, especially for those who just started working out. You can absolutely see results without supplements, and you'll save money. There's no need to break the bank before you even start earning. So focus on consistency first, where your nutrition is at, your current protein intake, and then you can choose to purchase protein powder or not. So I don't want to get too into the weeds, as I do want to cover a decent list of supplements, and the first one I want to dive into is protein powder. Now, protein powders are really good, like I said, to fill in the gaps. So if you are struggling to hit your protein goals, then absolutely you can lean on protein powders. They're really good as well because they're convenient. If you do a lot of traveling, these are really good. Having straight after you work out is another good tip. There's different versions of protein out there, so do your research before. With the type of protein that you're looking for, there's plant-based options out there for those that are vegan. There's also collagen, which is a type of protein in our skin and nails and teeth, which has got a lot of hype recently. Look for the type of protein that is best suited towards your goals and also complements what you're trying to achieve. If it is more just general health, and you are in kind of that 40, 50 or above category, collagen may be what you need. Whey is the most common, especially when it comes to working out and muscle replenishment. Like I said, they're good for filling the gaps and they're very convenient. And they actually taste really good. I have mine even as a shake, but I also mix mine in my oatmeal and I love it. Before you purchase, make sure you read the ingredients list first. There is a ton of protein powders out there that just have absolute junk in it. Typically, your cheaper protein powders will have a ton of fillers, so you'll drink it or you'll eat it, whatever way you decide to consume it, and you'll notice you get really bloated and it can actually cause a lot of GI distress. So make sure you invest a little bit more money than what you want to into it. I reckon anything above $40, $50 is really good. Anything under that is probably got a ton of fillers and the ingredients are probably not that great. So make sure you read the ingredients list and don't buy the cheapest option on the market. Also look at the actual macronutrients. Some protein powders will contain a little bit more carbs and fats. The isolated versions, that is very clean, so you're looking roughly around 100 calories and you'll get pure protein in it, usually around 25, 30 grams, depending on the serving size as well. Like I said, protein powders are great for anyone that needs to fill in the gaps. They're convenient. If you do struggle with GI distress, then test some out. You may want to invest in a bit more of an expensive option just to make sure the ingredients are a little bit cleaner. But they are great. I use them all the time. But like I said, make sure you try to get your protein from a diet, from your nutrition, before you purchase protein powders. The next supplement is creatine monohydrate. Creatine monohydrate is the most researched supplement on the market. It is referred to as the gold standard for strength, muscle, and recovery. It's very safe, it's very effective, and it is well researched. Recent research has actually shown that it may also benefit brain health and memory, which when I first started taking it, I did experience the physical benefits when I was working out, but I also noticed my cognitive function. I no longer got that kind of 2-3 p.m. mental slump. I kind of managed to just power through, and I was way more productive. Along with the benefits of working out, I noticed that I would fill out quicker when I was essentially getting more of a quote-unquote pump when I was at the gym, and my recovery as well. So tons of benefits with creatine. If you are going to take it, I suggest starting out with 3 to 5 grams depending on your height and body weight, and make sure you're drinking plenty water with creatine. What creatine does, it actually stores water inside the muscle. So it's not the same as like if you chug a ton of water and you feel kind of bloated. It stores it inside the muscle, okay? You will gain weight. If you are someone that the scale stresses you out, then I advise avoiding the scale when you are on creatine, as you will gain weight, but this does not mean it's fat. It is purely water. Your body is holding on to that water weight because creatine is pulling it inside the muscle, okay? Creatine is not just for bodybuilders either. It's great for athletes, men, women, and even older adults. Like I said, the benefits are pretty astounding actually. You can get creatine in your food. There's only trace amounts. The best food you can get it in is steak. However, the amount of steak you would have to consume to get that 3 to 5 grams is stupid. I think it's something like 35 ounces of raw beef to get 5 grams, if that. And when you cook steak, it actually breaks the creatine down. So you'd have to eat more cooked steak to get it. And no one's going to do that. So I do suggest supplementing it, even if you're not actually in the gym yet. It's really good to take, and it's especially good for people that are in a calorie deficit. When you're in a calorie deficit, you are trying to hold on to that muscle as much as possible. So by taking creatine, that just helps keep the muscle there without your body using it to break down for energy. One of the biggest myths is that you need to creatine load, and this used to be the done thing, and creatine loading would be when you take about 20 grams of creatine a day for a week. Now, just taking 1 scoop a day or 5 grams a day is perfect. What this does, it will just take you longer to max out your creatine load. Loading means that you would just get there quicker. It's a total marketing scam. They just want you to buy more and consume more, especially straight at the bat. So loading is not needed. I suggest consistently taking 1 scoop a day of 3 to 5 grams, or if you want to go to the pill form, making sure you're getting closer to that 3 to 5 gram mark. No need for loading. Like I said, the consistency over anything else is by far the biggest thing. How long it will take for you to reach your maximum capacity for creatine is entirely dependent on the person. I am 5'8", roughly about 150 pounds or so just now, and I'm very sensitive to these things, so I felt the difference after, I would say, about 10 days was when I really started noticing a difference, and I probably peaked at around that 14 to 16 day mark. Someone who's a little bit bigger may not be as receptive to these sort of things, may take closer to that 3 to 4 week range. So it's highly dependent on the person. Just make sure you are taking it consistently. I take it in the powder form and I think it's great. I'm a weirdo and I just dry scoop it. So I just put the scoop in my mouth and chug water afterwards. Some people like to mix it with their shakes. I did do it in my coffee for a while, but my coffee is sacred to me, and even though it's unflavoured, I felt like it just changed the taste of my coffee, so I stopped doing that. But most of them are unflavoured. You can mix in absolutely anything, okay? Just be consistent with it. The next one is green powders. So green powders are great as they can increase your nutrient intake, and they also provide a concentrated source of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and other nutrients that you may be lacking in your diet. Some also contain pre and probiotics, which can promote healthy gut bacteria and improve your digestion. However, the quality and ingredients of green powders can vary significantly, so definitely check the ingredients list and nutrition label. And it is important to choose a product from a reputable manufacturer. And like I said, make sure you read the ingredients list carefully. The big downside with green powders is they are very, very expensive. My advice, eat more fruits and vegetables. If you're not a fan of the taste and the texture, add them in certain things where you don't really have to worry about that. So in soups and smoothies, things like that where it's blended together, but you're still getting a ton of those micronutrients. The next one I'm going to talk about is essential amino acids. Now, essential amino acids, or EAAs for short, are your building blocks of protein. There are 9 EAAs that the human body cannot synthesize, so we must obtain them from our diet, and there are 11 non-essential. They're usually taken to stimulate muscle protein synthesis combined with adequate protein intake and stimulus from strength training. Okay, so if you have your strength training, your protein intake, you can take a supplement of EAAs to help with the muscle protein synthesis and, like I said, the building blocks of that protein. Most supplements contain electrolytes as well, so they're really good to take during your workout to fuel hydration. They're good for prolonged endurance and to optimize recovery. I take essential amino acids mixed with my intra-workout shake. Okay, so I've got my high glycemic carbs in the form of a powder plus my essential amino acids. Some supplements out there on the market are a mixture of BCAAs, which is branched chain amino acids. That includes leucine, isoleucine, and valine. They support muscle growth and reduce the muscle fatigue. And those BCAAs are mixed with the essential amino acids. And the essential amino acids, like I said, is a type of essential amino acids that we cannot produce on our own. So we need to get it from a diet or our supplements. Okay. These include leucine, isoleucine, valine, histidine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, and tryptophan. I probably totally butchered that. Like I said, essential amino acids support muscle growth and recovery. So they do have their place. Like I said, try get it in your diet. If you can't, definitely supplement it. If you are someone who trains long and hard and your sessions are pretty intense, even on a high protein diet, I do suggest getting essential amino acids. I've definitely experienced the benefits with it. It helps during the workout. Like I said, when I've got a long rep range, anything above like the 15, depending on your tempo. But if you're going anywhere closer to that 20 to even up to 30 rep mark, these are really, really good for endurance. Okay. These can be taken before, during, or after working out to support and enhance muscle protein synthesis. They can replenish critical electrolytes lost in our sweat, and it can promote peak performance. In conjunction with that is beta-alanine. So beta-alanine is a non-essential amino acid that is found in small amounts in meat and dairy products. It's typically found in pre-workout, and it's what gives you that tingly sensation. This is known as paresthesia. This is very mild and temporary. And what beta-alanine does is it increases the muscle carnosine levels, which acts as a buffer against lactic acid accumulating during, your workouts. This reduces muscle fatigue and can improve endurance. So like I said, if you're kind of someone who's doing intense workout sessions with a higher rep range and you need that kind of muscle endurance, beta-alanine is a good source. Beta-alanine can be bought as a concentrated supplement where you can add it to certain things, or you can take it if you're taking pre-workout. Your beta-alanine is probably in your pre-workout supplement. The next one is omega-3, so that's omega-3 fatty acids. These play an essential role in maintaining overall good health. The foods that contain omega-3s is salmon, tuna, flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, and soybeans. They are essential, so our bodies cannot produce them on their own, so we have to get them from our diet or supplements. They provide numerous health benefits. That includes reducing inflammation, improving heart health, and supporting brain function. Typically, people take them in capsule form, but there's also different ways you can take them. And make sure you check the dosage before you take it. Next up is vitamin D. So vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin that acts more like a hormone in the body. This plays a big role in bone health, immune function, muscle strength, and mood regulation. You can get vitamin D from sunlight, so our bodies actually produce vitamin D when it's exposed to UVB rays. And you can also get it from food, so fatty fish like salmon, sardines if you're into that, tuna. You can get it from egg yolks, fortified dairy and plant milks. If you are someone that lives in a colder climate and see less sunlight, then it is advisable to possibly supplement with vitamin D. I do advise that you get your bloods taken first before you take it. Vitamin D toxicity, it is rare, but if you do get it, it is very, very dangerous, very, very detrimental. So if you aren't sure if you're getting enough vitamin D, one of the main signs of that is fatigue. I would suggest get your bloods taken and your doctor may put you on a vitamin D supplement. Going off of that, the next supplement I want to discuss is a multivitamin. So a multivitamin is a combination of supplements that usually contain essential vitamins and minerals, and sometimes extras, like sometimes they have herbs and antioxidants in them. And again, these are designed to fill in the gaps of a person's diet, not replace whole foods. One thing I want to point out is not all multivitamins are created equal. Some use cheap forms of nutrients, so they're less bioavailable. That means they don't absorb in the body as good. So make sure you check what is contained in your multivitamin and also if it's a reputable manufacturer. Multis are generalized, they're not personalized, so you may get nutrients you don't need and you may still be missing others. So make sure you're taking these supplements by assessing what kind of gaps you're actually trying to fill in. If you don't need to take a multivitamin, then don't take it. If you're deficient in iron, then go for an iron supplement. You don't need to take a multivitamin. If you are in a fat loss phase, I do recommend taking a multivitamin as you are in a calorie deficit, and so it's already restricted, which likely means that your micronutrients, are probably very low or on the lower side. So taking a multivitamin is not a bad idea. The last one I want to cover, and I've saved the best till last, is fat burners. Yes, they are still on the market and people still absolutely purchase them. Okay, so fat burners. They are not magic. They do not literally melt your fat away. Most fat burners are just a blend of caffeine and stimulants and maybe a couple of herbs like green tea extract or cayenne, but most of them are just stimulants. At the very, very best, they give you a small boost in metabolism or suppress your appetite. The exact same thing that coffee does. This is just at a greater extent. At the very worst, they're expensive, under-regulated, and sometimes unsafe, especially if they have a very high stimulus. Okay, so I don't have much to say on fat burners. Just don't friggin' buy them. Don't fall for the false marketing. There are so many other options out there to choose from that will actually get you the results you want. Do not fall into the trap of thinking that fat burners are going to work. They don't. The best thing you can do is assess your diet, then look at your training protocols and make changes from there. Do your research before taking any of these. Ask someone that has experience taking them or knows what they're talking about. If you do have any underlying health conditions, then consult your doctor before taking any supplements or making any dietary changes. I hope you enjoyed this episode and hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, just reach out. And if you are interested in coaching, then head to the Summit Coaching Instagram page, link below, and you can send me a message or use the link in my bio and fill out an application, and I can get you started on your journey. With coaching, you'll be working directly with myself, where I'll provide you custom workout plans to suit your lifestyle. You'll get nutritional coaching, weekly check-ins, 24/7 accountability and support, and most importantly, you will get the results you want. Everything is fully customized to suit each client's needs, and I take you where you're at now and get you where you want to be. If you enjoyed this podcast, then please give it a 5-star review, share it with your friends on social media, and please reach out if you have any specific topics you want me to cover. Make sure you subscribe. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next episode.